Up next on the ComaCast, what the Texas abortion ban does and what it means for other states. Plus, TikTokers flooded that Texas abortion whistleblower site with Shrek memes, fake reports, and Shrek porn. Also, 2 high school teens wore the same outfits to prove dress codes are sexist, and it worked. Plus, there's some things that has the internet buzzing. The school board was trolled with hilarious list of fake names. Also, Lil Nas X announces his album release date with a pregnancy photo shoot. Plus, Kraft mac and cheese ice cream. Yeah, it's back on sale. All that and more on the ComaCast starting now.
Podcasting from the Lone Star State in Southern California, you're listening to the Coma Podcast with Cody and Matt.
Hey, everybody. Can you hear? I cannot hear you.
Let's try that.
Oh, there you go. I can hear you.
You're not moving on my screen.
Am I not? Oh my goodness.
No.
Well, I think I'm moving. I have the YouTube pulled up, so I think it should be going somewhat okay. Hey, everybody! Welcome to our live show. We thank you for joining us.
Oh, there you are. Now it's moving.
I'm here! Yay! Thank y'all for moving pictures. Can you imagine going back in time and when, I was watching something and like a little kid was like, oh yeah, I know a movie. And it was like one of those Nickelodeons. You go in and you put a nickel in and you see something that just like, and that was so amazing at the time. And now we're spoiled.
Yeah. So speaking of age, so during school this week, so my people in my program range from the ages of like 18 to 50. And some of the students did their prereqs in high school and then just transferred right into the college when they got accepted.
Yeah.
So in the same week, so somebody else actually told me they're really excited because they're like because I try to watch what I eat and everything. They're like, oh, you're gonna be more muscular like you were pre-COVID. I was like, oh, thanks. And then yesterday, so I was working on campus. I didn't have classes yesterday, but I was working on campus all day, which is I actually had to cancel recording with you and with Clint and everything because I just had studying all day. So I got there at 9 and then I did the work I had to do. And then I was doing another thing. And while I was there, somebody goes, they were doing a math review. We have a test on Monday or Tuesday. And I said, well, I've had enough of this. I'm going to go get food. I'm going to go get lunch because I've been here for 3 or 4 hours and everybody else had just got there. And like, oh, you're leaving? I was like, well, I've been here for 3.5 hours, And I'm like, I'm just tired. I'm like, I need to go get food, And they're like, oh, I can tell. I know I am wearing a mask. And they're like, oh, I can tell how tired you are just by how your eyes look. And I'm like, no,
Wow.
It's actually just how they look. So later that afternoon, I'm working in a study room in our library with 2 other students. And so I'm 35. My one peer is 33, and the other kid is 18. And he goes, yeah, it's just kind of weird being in this program. I left high school, and now I'm in this program with old people. And I went, So
you're
respect my privacy during this time as I process this.
Real quick, Chris says hi. He can hear us and see us. Yay! And Topher says Salem. Yes, he was trying to lay here on the keyboard, and that does not work out well. Sometimes he falls asleep here, and is sweet, and sometimes he wants to eat the microphone.
Yeah, he's definitely cut a few shows short.
We again, if you are watching this as a replay, thank you. You can tune in every Friday at 5:00 Pacific. If you're listening to the audio version, join us live. It's always fun to interact because you can leave your comments in the chat, whatever platform you're on, and we can see it and interact with you and whatever stories we're talking about or whatever comes to mind or whatever you bring to us. It's always an exciting time. Talking about the age thing, the other day we went to a brewery and we were getting my beer, and the lady that was giving us the bartending, she was like, oh, I like your shirt. And she was talking to Justin. She was like, oh, I like your shirt. And he was like, oh, thanks. And she was like, yeah, it's pretty cool. She was like, yeah, I'm trying to get the owners here to make some t-shirts And it'll be good to let them know that you like it. She kind of told us kind of what it would be, or like the colors and pastel colors or something. And she was like, "Yeah, it'll be good. I can tell the owners here that old people do like stuff like that." What? Okay, first of all, uh, we did not look as old as compared to the other people there. I think it was she just felt comfortable with us, and then that's what just came out. But it's like, okay, there are way older people here. Did you ask them that?
Oh,
This
that's
is
really funny.
weird.
Yeah, yeah. Yesterday it was like, okay, silence, fetus. Like it was a moment, and I was like, damn, guys, okay.
Chris
And then
just
of
said,
course
"No, I just turned 35. I'm not old yet." No, you're young, so young.
we're so youthful. So it's been yeah, and I survived week 2. Um, so with week 1 being totally insane, they allowed us to turn all of our work in for week 1 and 2 on week 2. So, but that does not mean Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That means like Tuesday, Wednesday when we have class. So you have to be prepared for Tuesday, Wednesday. So from this week to next week, I have an entire full new week. But from last week, from Monday when we started to, 2 weeks ago, Monday now, there was a lot of reading because we got access to everything on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of the first week.
Yeah.
So I had like 4 days to do the equivalent of 9 days or 9 or 10 days. Well, 2 full weeks worth of work in about 4 days. So I think I canceled 2 recordings and plus Clint's, and I got plenty of sleep. I did actually go to sleep at night. That is one thing that is not changed. Gym and sleep schedule have to stay on because that's how I keep my energy up and stay healthy. There are already students that are like, I'm only getting like 4 hours of sleep a night. And, a couple of them, I've seen it. I haven't seen them like in person. They've just heard them talking about them crying in their cars already. And I'm like, you guys, like the first week is super overwhelming. Like, because you're getting all this information. You're meeting 100 other students. Literally, there's 113 of us that started in the program. So, and you can't do this alone. You absolutely have to have a study group. You just have to work with people. And I am not, it's not really my thing. So, but I found 1 or 2 people to work with and it's been fine.
It's good.
And also like, having to teach myself some things and studying and writing and taking notes and working. And then today, I actually called Cody earlier today. It's been just really awful day. It's been like completely awful.
It was rough. It was rough.
I called Cody and I was like, I need to talk to you. I want to talk to you as a friend, and I don't want to share this for the first time on camera because I'm tired. I'm exhausted. But the short story is Luna woke us up last night, throwing up all night. And so from like 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., she was throwing up constantly and got to settle down. And then we finally got some sleep. I got caught up again. And then, and no, it's not the youngins crying in their car. It's people being disorganized because they're not reading. Like, we literally all have syllabi of what's happening. Like, it's all like laid out and gridded out for us. The first week is crazy, yes, but you just have to do it. We know what we signed up for. Like, we were told what was coming. This wasn't like some major surprise. It's just stressful to do it. But so we get her settled down, and later this morning, I had been up. David's at work. And she runs out of my room while I'm literally just reading a PowerPoint, and I see her run past me, and I'm like, oh, I know that run. So I run after her, and I'm trying to pick her up and get her to our guest bathroom, which is Keith's bathroom, and to the toilet. And as I'm skidding into the bathroom with her, she just unleashes. And I kind of like turned my head because she squirmed in my arms. And when she turned her body, it kind of like projectile vomited across like in an arc, just covered from door to bathtub, just covered, and just sprayed the toilet just top to bottom. And I'm like, David, Keith, somebody open the door and help me, because Ava has obviously now followed me because her and Luna are very close. And so I'm trying to like keep her out of the bathroom, keep Luna in the bathroom, not touch anything because every bath mat is now covered. And I'm like, And Jacob poor Keith's like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah,
And
you don't
this
want
is
that tracked all over.
I was like, are you kidding me? So got that cleaned up, and so Luna's not feeling so good. So she's going on a bland diet for the evening, and if I got to feed her around 4, and she's super lethargic, and so I had not had time to. So the days I'm home, I usually will take care of lunch and stuff like that because David's working.
Yeah.
So I'm, by the way, exhausted because I couldn't fall asleep last night because I had other stuff going on, and I got woken up at 2:30 because I didn't feel good, and Keith didn't feel good, David didn't feel good. We think something went wrong with the McDonald's we ate because all 3 of us were not feeling good, like at 2:30 in the morning. Keith and I got sick, and then David ate the least, and Keith and I didn't even eat that much. We ate like small amounts because we were just trying to not be hungry. So yeah, everybody wash your damn hands if you're handling food. So that was exciting. And then I'm like, fuck it, I'm taking us to Taco Bell. Don't care. And at the intersection, which by the way is 3 minutes, maybe 5 from our house, I'm sitting at the intersection and a guy rear ends us. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you seriously?
Matt was telling me this story, and I was like, okay, the first part, okay. And then he's like, oh, and then
We got rear ended, and I'm like, we're okay. We're totally okay. We're not hurt. So the problem is I have an inflammatory disorder. When you have some kind of jolt or shock like that, it triggers it. Like that's a straight up trigger. And within hours, I'm already feeling like pain, like arthritic pain in my fingers, like parts of my fingers, like the ball of my foot. Just, it doesn't feel good. So unfortunately, this is one of those times and it's not so much an injury because I'm not dealing. No, like it's not worth it. But the guy hit us and he's like, well, I don't know what to do. And, I don't. I'm like, well, good news. I do. You just rear-ended a license claims adjuster for Texas. Good job. And he gets out of his car on a frontage road on 410, which is a very busy road. And he's like, oh, my brakes weren't working.
I think my favorite part of the story is when you started describing me his car, his vehicle, and that he had like a fan, like
yeah,
not
like one
part
of
of
those.
his
Yeah, I
car.
mean, he was not having a good day, and but I felt. I'm not gonna say I felt bad for him because he was clearly not paying he wasn't paying attention. Like, don't give me the brake excuse. Because after we pulled over in the Taco Bell, there's also a Whataburger in that same plaza. And he goes, I said, well, we're gonna go now and go to that Whataburger. Oh, by the way, this is all on David's lunch break. I would like to point out because David came with me. Ordinarily, I just go pick it up myself. And he goes, oh, well, I have 45 minutes today. I'll just come with you. And I was like, all right, that's fine. Ordinarily, I would have went by myself and got it because it's 99 degrees outside today, and today it's not been cloudy. So on the asphalt, I'm getting out of the car on the road. I'm like, okay, I like take pictures, get back in your car. We'll just pull over, and I'm like, please God, just take off. I'll just report I've got my information. We're good. Just please hit and run it and just go. But no, he did the honorable thing. But then when he rolled out to go to Whataburger in the same plaza, man, his car stopped just fine, and you just rear-ended somebody, but you're confident enough in your brakes to go through a Whataburger drive-through. If you don't know, it's double lines, and they're always full, like out to the road. Interesting. So we've already filed a claim. We're okay. I don't feel so great, but that's not because of necessarily like being rear-ended. It's just it triggers my body. So I don't feel awesome right now. I called Cody and I'm like, do you have a minute? And this is not my style. I will usually just text.
No, it's not.
And
I was
I
like,
felt
oh my
bad
God, something is really bad. Something is really wrong.
And I was like, and I wasn't trying to stress you out. I felt bad. I was trying to do this I was reviewing a PowerPoint. I was making notes. I'm writing. And I'm not feeling great. And David's working. And so my phone started to die. And I have one of those turbocharger packs for the phone. And I'm like, my phone charger's far away. And I needed to keep it on so I could see, in case David texted, because we were just trying to watch Luna at the same time, by the way, because obviously this isn't good. So I've cleaned up vomit all over the place today. My poor baby girl is not feeling good. She's super lethargic. I'm like picking her up and kind of like petting her and rubbing, checking her, and she's kind of just flopping back down. She's breathing, she's responsive, just very slow. It's very unnerving because she's a very young cat. And So before I left earlier, all my equipment is on the bed because I'm still organizing my desk, and they just gave us just 2 backpacks worth of equipment so we can practice our skills on. So I tossed the tank top I was wearing over it just in case so the cat didn't take a nap on it or get fur on something of mine.
Yeah.
When I rolled back, the pack was under my tank top, so I reached and grabbed my tank top and tossed it. Yeah, the cat had thrown up in my shirt.
Oh, goodness gracious.
So I cleaned up some more vomit off me, and luckily none of it got on the bed, none of it got on my equipment, none of it got on my binders, and I was just like,
and y'all, that was Matt's day.
and I'm and I at this point, and then I just cleaned myself up. I just threw the shirt away. Just gave up. I just totally gave up at that point. By the way, the Taco Bell was the first thing I'd eaten today because all I've done all day is clean vomit. I'm like, I'm not a nurse yet. Come on.
Training.
So
Training.
I left. I walked out of the room, and that's when I noticed I was like, I hadn't heard from Luna all day, so I went to check on her, and then Kitty, Keith's cat, I fed him earlier, and when we got, so I was like, Cody, I need to shower. I'm totally disgusting. So he's like, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so you're all right. It's fine. And because I always try to let him know if I'm going to be late or something, because it's rude to just not say something. And I'm not trying to be an alarmist. I'm just obviously not having the best of days. At this point, it's like so fucking bad. It's comical.
Keith is like, hi guys.
So
what a day.
So Kitty eats in our laundry room, and Luna and Ava eat out in the main room in separate places, so that they don't bother each other. And he's a very slow eater. And earlier he just wasn't there when the others ate. And I was trying to feed Luna separately anyway to not stress her out. So great. They're taken care of. I'm like, oh, perfect. Kitty's a really slow eater. Put him in the laundry room. And he eats on this red. It used to be like the mat we had in front of our sink. We put it in our back door when you come in from the garage. So it's old. We don't care about it.
Yeah.
So we put his food down there. Run upstairs, I shower, and I'm texting you, and David's getting off work. We're trying to decide what to do with Luna. And I'm like, let Kitty out. He should be done by the time we're out of the shower. Give him 20 minutes to eat. 20 minutes is about how much it takes. Go down, and he ate, and I don't know if he panicked because he got stuck in there. He must have thought he was stuck, and he peed in the corner.
Aww. Salem, you hear that?
And my clothes are still in the washer and dryer, and you can't run the washer and dryer when Kitty's in there. He's terrified of them. He's terrified of the dryer, which is wild because he used to be an outdoor cat. He's so, and most things never bother the little guy, and he's the sweetest little cuddler. He always lets me pick him up, and we cuddle, and I talk to him, and he chirps. When you call him, he'll chirp at me and run over for pets and cuddles, and I adore the little monster. But David had come down soaking wet in a towel to let him out, and I came down to get clips to hold up the curtain so I could have more light in here. And we discover all of it at the same time. And we're, of course, like, oh my God, poor cat. He probably thought he was stuck in here. And and right then, because I texted Keith, hey, Kitty's eating, so he knows to come in carefully and not scare him through the garage, because we always come in through the garage. Mm-hmm. And right then I get a message from Keith, hey, I'm just going to come in carefully. Hopefully he's done eating right now. And I'm like, David's in the laundry room, as I'm trying to open my laptop. It was
goodness.
What the fuck?
Keith, if anyone wants a free cute orange kitty, DM me. Oh, goodness. Salem, it sounds like they had quite a day.
He's so sweet. He's really, he's such a talker now. He's adjusted really well to being inside for the most part.
That's good.
He lets me pick him up, and I just pick him up, talk to him for a minute, and then put him right back down, just getting him used to that handling. But after Cody and I hung up is a few minutes later when I rolled backwards to put my hand on to move my shirt and found vomit all in my shirt. I was sprayed on other places, just nothing important. The rest I could clean. The shirt I had to throw away. And yep. And I'm obviously not mad at my poor cat because she doesn't feel good. I'm very concerned about my poor baby.
Yeah. Well, you will keep us posted, I'm sure. Again, thank y'all for joining us. Let us know how your day has been, how your week has been.
I really,
just leave it.
And, it's not even like I've had the worst day ever. Bad.
Yeah, no, it's just a lot of stuff. It was just a lot of stuff.
We did have good news today. we should be expecting hopefully an email from UTA giving David an acceptance letter for an official acceptance for January for him to start his bachelor's in nursing program, which is something we've really been waiting on. And he got a job interview offer, not a job offer, then an interview for a job he really wants, that he actually wants to do. And he got that today. So, I mean, there were good things today. And I'm probably going to go eat a lot of comfort food when we're done with this. I didn't even know if I was going to come because I might be behind on my work. I'm going to be and tired. So, but I got another message I wanted to tell you about. So I got a message in my DMs referencing my cleft palate. And you guys know I'm very open about my cleft. I don't think I even had a chance to tell you about this, Cody.
Mm-mm.
So I don't want to I just don't think the person thought this through. So again, I'm very open about it. I don't mind questions. I don't mind commentary. I don't mind references. But maybe opening up out of nowhere, especially if we don't really talk, you don't really know me that well, or you don't interact, referencing it in a sense that it's a disability is maybe not because I'm not saying does it impede me from certain things? Yes. Did it impede me growing up for certain things? Absolutely. But it did not stop me from running, swimming, and walking. Was breathing a lot harder for me? Yes, because I'm a total mouth breather because everything up here is like Dr. Seuss's playground. It mostly works now. But, sometimes air goes in one place, comes out another, and it's kind of anybody's guess. But I personally, for me, again, every cleft palate patient is very different. I would not classify it myself as a disability in the terms that this person was using. And I don't think they meant it in a negative. I don't think that at all because they're a lovely person. But I just encourage someone to think before you type. I sent it to David. That was last night. That was last night's thing. I just didn't even know what to say to that. I was caught really off guard.
It's always a tough one, I guess.
So I was like, well, and and Chris, you can't fix ignorant people. It's not a disability. Well, and for some people it is. That's the thing. Some people it really can be because some people's are really severe and not corrected. And sometimes people aren't able to get them corrected. Even in Cody and I's generation, I do know people that were 12 plus years old before they got their very first surgery. That is difficult to live with. But I just wanted to mention that to you because that was just one of those, that's what I intended to mention when you were going to ask how my week was going.
Yeah.
Because it was more of a passive comment. I'm obviously not offended. It's more of maybe think.
It's always important, I guess. Think before you speak. It's key.
I almost was I'm going to sign off after I talk because I think I don't trust the roof to not fall. So when we opened up and Cody's like, I can't hear you. I'm like, for real?
Because we didn't test beforehand. It was a exciting week though for us here on the podcast because we got to talk to my friend Bree.
I've been waiting for this for so long.
And Matt got to be introduced. I got to see somebody who has known me for a while. And anyway, here's a little clip. If you haven't seen it, be sure and check out that.
Is this the game
episode. This is not the game show, but the game show was fun.
For that.
This is a little highlights of what you missed. That'll hopefully make you want to listen to the podcast. Hey everybody, and welcome to the ComaCast. We're going to be talking about some of the things that are affecting members of our trans community. We're also going to be talking about kind of being stuck in boxes, male, female boxes. We are joined by one of my friends, Bree. We met on Facebook because we had friends in common in Orlando, Disney World, the gay mecca.
Yes. Where typically, even if you don't know someone, you have between 14 and 20 mutual friends on Facebook.
Yeah.
So
there's not very many degrees of separation there.
No,
like at all,
there's
in like
not.
any sense.
No, especially when people are like, hey, like that was, they're my, fourth ex-boyfriend. It's like, okay, well now they're my boyfriend. As we said, I've known Cody for like 7-8 years or so. I am a trans woman. So when Cody and I first met, I was a man, Maury. Cody was actually in love with me for like the longest time. And I so badly just wanted to love him back. But like, we were just really great friends. And but Cody was like, you let me know and I'll drop everything. Like, why are things gendered? Especially with transitioning, it's like, that's just so scary because, guys are supposed to look a certain way, girls are supposed to look a certain way. And I felt like I didn't look the way that I needed to as a girl in order to be accepted in society. It took me a while, but after realizing like, I'm perfectly valid in my femininity and in my identity, regardless of how I look or what I'm wearing or whatever. I got called a lesbian more than I got called like a boy or like, any kind of trans slur or whatever. Which, I mean, it was kind of super validating. Like, people don't think I'm a boy. They don't think I'm like a trans woman. They thought I was a gay woman. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, that's rude, but thank you.
So that's just a little bit of the episode.
It was really a great episode. Brie got to talk about so many topics for herself, and it was really great to just also meet her. And also, you guys never get to see Cody really just relax and just kind of pal around with somebody. And because he and Brie have been friends for so long, she just merciless, like she knows him. So it was just really fun to watch. We played a game, like a get to know them game, or get to like I guess it'd be like the equivalent of
Newlyweds.
Yeah, like a Newlyweds game. And it was fantastic. They didn't miss a single question. I did try to trip them up, and I made it very awkward for them. It was fantastic. I don't know if Cody left that in.
I think so. Keith says Brie is hot. She looks amazing. I know, right? I think Matt was surprised. I don't think I've ever talked about that before, that I was in love with her.
Well, no, I was a little surprised because I'm not... Okay, I'm not surprised because I know those things exist for all of us. We all have that friend we were in love with, and it's private, it's personal, and you feel weird sharing that. And Cody and I don't know each other in person. So, but it was amazing because Cody didn't bring that up. She did.
She brought it up.
And Cody was like,
that up over and over again.
But one thing she brought up to me that I've thought about it this whole time, and I would love for her to come back and we talk about this some more. One thing she talked about was feeling the need to, like put her extensions in and wear long hair to be a certain kind of appearance to make her not that she wanted that, but she felt that everybody else needed that for her to be accepted. And it wasn't just so much being put in boxes, how she was talking about how she kind of went from one box and then put herself in another. And then kind of how she overcame that and just gave up like that and just moved on to her own, what she wanted and what she felt was best for her. And it was incredible. And also she's sweet and hilarious and also a former cast member. So we have lots in common. So, and Cody is just like Mr. Disney aficionado. So we got to talk about Disney, which was really fun.
Yeah, we're going to definitely have her on. I think she may join us next week for our live show. So if you're here, she may, who knows what she's going to say. It's going to be live. So I don't know. The one thing I've learned with Brie is you never know what she's going to say. So when we were out doing things or whatever, like, I think we would always try to get each other, like try to embarrass each other in public by doing certain things. I always talk about when I'm like at Disney, I always like, I don't do this all the time, but like if I'm with a friend and I want to embarrass them, I just like pretend I'm going to ask them to marry me and get on my knees. And then, everyone starts looking.
David said that we should have a baby once while I think we were peeing at the gym in Planet Fitness in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. So that wasn't scary at all.
Oh, a
Yeah.
little baby.
Yeah,
Chris,
my ex-boyfriend was really unhappy about it. He was like, "You guys are going to get hate crimed." I'm like, "I know." Like, oh, I can't argue with him. He's not wrong, but at the same time, like, it was funny.
was his children already in you? Chris says, I loved it. I haven't seen the YouTube video yet, but the podcast was amazing. Yeah, watch the video, especially because on the game, we talk about something, one of the costumes that we wore at Disney. One of the first things, the first time we really kind of met and did something was there. And so we show pictures and stuff. So it is,
And Cody
you
talked
do.
about how he got called a whore by a guy,
Oh
and it was
my God.
amazing because it's usually me. So it was really nice that it was Cody.
There was so much in that, but yeah. So that was on the Wednesday's episode. So be sure and check that out. Watch the video version and watch the audio version. We love it. We love it. Now, on any of these, be sure, especially on YouTube, if you watch it, be sure and like the video, and leave a comment. But if you don't want to leave a comment, just at least like it, and then because that's great. Now there are some crazy things happening. That was all fun, but also there was some bad things that happened this week, and it all is Texas. First of all, there was 666 laws that came into be in the state of Texas. Not sure why the Republicans didn't at least try to get one more, but they went with the 666. And there's a lot of them. There's open carry now. You can have open carry guns, so that's not fun. But one of the biggest ones was that they decided that the abortion situation. Now it went to the Supreme Court in a shadow docket decision, 5-4. Chief Justice was on the side of the 4. The new law went into effect though in Texas. It bans abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy. That's many times before women even know they're pregnant. Now the law allows private citizens to sue providers and anyone else who helps attain an abortion with that woman, including those who maybe just give a woman a ride to a clinic, or even technically a ride to a neighboring state. Now private citizens can bring these suits. The law makes no exceptions for rape or incest. Now, anyone who has successfully sues the abortion provider under the law could be awarded at least $10,000. Now, in preparation for this, and as soon as it went through, the Texas Right to Life, which is the group, they put together a whistleblower website where people can submit anonymous tips about anyone they believe is violating the law, which is kind of crazy. But so yeah, that happened. So that was obviously not a great thing. Now the supposedly the Supreme Court didn't roll on this, or it went to the 5-4, and this isn't necessarily a ruling. This is a shadow docket decision, because there was no like trial or any of that sort of thing. The reasoning I guess they gave ultimately was there's been nothing like this before that has happened, so it's hard for them, they say, to gauge whether it's legal or not legal, or if it's going anything against the Constitution, because it doesn't involve the government. It involves a private citizen bringing a lawsuit. So that was the reasoning, I guess, that would happen. But this is the interesting thing, and this is what I've always said about laws. Now, people bringing laws for this religion or that religion or whatever their law may be, there can be other consequences because of a law you pass that later down the line you might not realize. And one of those potentially could be in this case. There's some scholars, constitutional scholars, who believe that like under this ruling now, New York could set up a law in which you could sue gun makers. And so you could do private lawsuits against gun makers.
Right.
And so...
Hold on. Keith said, I think we should all clog their system with tips. It already happened, and it's already been shut down. It happened in under 24 hours because kids on TikTok made a bot that spammed it. Also, in the middle of if you notice me texting, is because I posted on Snapchat that, I'm very obviously pro-choice. And someone goes, well, it's my choice not to get the vaccine. And I told the person who's a longtime friend of mine to shut the fuck up and fuck out of here with that stupidity. And he goes, my body, my choice, remember? I'm like, dude, our hospitals are literally full of unvaccinated people. So I don't have time for your dumbass. Goodbye. And I hit the block button.
Yeah.
So if you're wondering, that's what I was texting just now.
Yeah, this is a obviously Florida has now come out. Obviously, Ron DeSantis is not going to let Governor Abbott get away with something. So Florida's going to follow suit. Some other
Oh yeah,
Republican states are going to
it's
follow
coming.
suit.
This is just
Ultimately, it
going to
will
just
go to the Supreme Court for an actual ruling on this once lawsuits start happening. That is inevitable that that's going to happen. But I do think it is interesting that regardless if this stays, it does potentially leave the open, according to some scholars, the opportunity for other states to, write laws, then be like, okay, I can sue gun makers now, and there's nothing that can be done under this. And it would be the same kind of thing. There would be like a website you could set up, and you could like give tips against gun makers, theoretically, under what this law could be. Others could use the same kind of concept. And you are right, Matt. Like you said, there are TikTokers who have done it, Reddit people, all over. Of course, TikTok was famous for destroying Trump's comeback after COVID started happening in
it's
Oklahoma
pretty great.
City. When they
Yeah,
took all
it
the
caused him to
tickets,
try to he tried to have TikTok banned,
because you
and I'm
have
like,
China. It's
yeah,
like, no, it's Americans. But yeah, here's one of the TikTokers who was putting together a thing for people who had iPhones.
Okay, so here's the update. Unfortunately, they IP banned me, found out this morning. So when I access the site, it gives me something that looks like this. But before that, I was able to get about 245. And this morning, about 48 more, so about 300. But then I started thinking, what if I made this a bit easier for everybody? So I made an iOS shortcut. You might be asking yourself, what does the iOS shortcut do? Well, it picks a random city, county, and Texas zip code, and all the other information, puts it in the form, automatically submits it. So if you go to the website from your iOS device, this is the web page with the form. Click the share button, you click the shortcut, it automatically sends the form. It will then refresh the page and give you the option to do it again. Hit that 5 seconds. If you're interested, I'll put a link in my bio and download the shortcut, along with some instructions on how to use the shortcut. And because it uses realistic information, it makes it harder for them to parse through the data.
So I love it. And he put the code up on his TikTok. So it's going to be hard. When it actually first started happening, when he created the code, there was a spot on the web page where you could upload a photo, and which anyone who deals with any kind of website design and knows that this could be ultimately problematic. Clearly, the people involved in this are not the smartest. And so people were uploading like Shrek memes, apparently Shrek porn. I didn't know that that was a thing, but that's what they were uploading in the upload section of this forum on the website. And so, yeah, it's going to be hard because all this information and data is going to really mess with their system. And people just got to keep up with that because that's currently the only option right now, because there's going to end up having to be lawsuits that occur because of this, that then will be taken up the line from court to court and ultimately Supreme Court to actually maybe rule on it. But yeah, that's where we're on that, and that's not mentioning many other laws that went into effect in Texas. Again, the open carry thing just blows my mind, that anybody can just carry a gun whenever, wherever, it doesn't matter. So I just like and so let's see. Keith says, how long until gay marriage comes under attack?
that's next. It is like,
Yeah, I do think that one will be a little bit tougher than this one. I think they will obviously try it. I think their focus a lot, if you've been paying attention, again, we knew Roe versus Wade would be a target, and it has been for some time. If you look, they try to just do little pieces by piece and just build up, and that they've gotten to where they are now. And then also, we've seen trans right issues be a big target. Of course, the Biden administration has come out and said they're going to start looking at these specific things in the Texas law and see what can be done. Not sure at this time really what can be done, but that's why we've always talked about on the show, vote, 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 no matter what, and get out the vote, get other people, your friends and family to vote, whether it's city council or school board, as we've seen many school boards, some fighting against the mask ban in Texas and others going against it. And so those going against it, I applaud them, but you need members in those school boards to also, be on the right side of history, I guess. Topher says, We're going to start seeing a push for term limits on the Supreme Court. Thoughts from our host?
Oh, I've always thought there should be some kind of. I've always thought there should be some kind of term limits. I'm not saying like 2 years, because you do need time for it. We can't be having them rotate constantly. But my God.
See, I feel like term limits is an ideal situation. I don't think we're going to get that.
No.
At any point in the future, because
well, he's saying that there's going to be a push for it. Not we're talking about the push for it. So
I think if it'll be a limited push, because unfortunately, I feel like people have a short attention span, and I feel that it's a lot of attention right now on this, but I feel like in a month or two, it's going to be not much attention again. It's the whole like Black Lives Matter situation. There's a lot of heat on it last summer. Now, there's not really much. There's not much that's happening. People kind of forgotten about it. And that's one of the things that just frustrates me. You got to like be out there all the time, unfortunately, because that's just the system we have. And of course, as far as anything happening or being able to happen, who knows? The filibuster, it doesn't seem that that's going to be overturned. Also, we do have a Democratic, or I want to say Democratic, liberal-leaning justice that should retire. Hopefully he will during the Biden administration within the next year or so. So there can be at least a liberal replacement. But so far, he does not seem to want to retire. So that's just gross. Keith says, I wish politicians would leave religion out of politics. There is no place for it. Yes. I don't think there's anything else besides that. Something a little bit, here real quick. Topher says, I saw an idea for an 18-year limit, meaning every president will get 2 Supreme Court nominees. I think that's fair.
I like that idea.
Yeah, I think there could also, there's the thought of expanding the court a little bit, making it a little bit bigger. I think that could go along with term limits. All of these are logical ideas, but in the the world of Washington, barely anything gets done. Even if you're fully in charge of the presidency and the House and the Senate by large margins, sometimes nothing gets done. This was a fun story, Matt, that I thought was really insightful and interesting. We've kind of mentioned it briefly in some of our shows earlier this year, but there was these 2 high school teens who wore the same outfits or similar outfits, basically crop tops, to prove that a dress code is sexist, because many times
we've all known the dress codes have been sexist. They were sexist. We thought they were sexist when we were 11. The one thing they did to combat it, they made us all tuck our shirts in 6th grade. All of us, no matter what. All your shirts had to be tucked in.
That's
it was
crazy.
The stupidest shit. I remember voting yes for uniforms because I just wanted to be able to wear, because we weren't allowed to wear shorts in school. And they're like, girls can wear skirts, but boys can't wear shorts. It's 100-something degrees plus humidity in Florida. And they were like, go ahead.
Well, since I went to a private school and I wore uniforms, which I do love. I love the whole thing of uniforms because I never had to think about what I wanted to wear. I always wore the same thing.
I was just like, fine, I can wear shorts and a polo shirt every day. Whatever, that's fine.
Yeah, but like we had to wear pants and the girls the skirts, but we couldn't wear shorts.
Yeah, only in Florida you could. The local one of the local schools that wore uniforms were allowed to wear they were allowed to wear like a short. The guys had a shorts version, and the girls had a skirt. They could wear skirt or pants, and the boys could wear shorts or pants. And I'm like, okay, yeah. And no flip-flops. I always wanted to wear flip-flops to school. So that one I actually agreed with because we had a lot of problems. In high school, we were allowed to wear flip-flops. They just had to have a back to them. But I always disagreed with that because in like biology and chemistry and science classes, there was always problems. And people would trip in the hallway and break a sandal, and it was a big drama.
Also, it can be annoying.
Right. You have like hundreds of kids crushing through a hallway. You could get a broken, kids got toes broken,
we never got to wear shorts. I always was annoyed by that because it was like the girls get to wear skirts, but it's like hot. It's Texas. It's hot. I did fight. This is part of the dress code, but hair. I did fight against this one a lot, and that I wanted to highlight my hair, not even dye it like I am now, just highlight my hair. But guys could not do that. Only girls were allowed to do that.
It was ridiculous. And so help in middle school if a girl wore like a sleeveless shirt, like nobody could wear this because shoulders are distracting. And I'm like, to who? Like,
well, Matt, your shoulders are distracting me right now.
let me get this water over here.
Y'all, when we were chatting earlier on FaceTime, I was wearing a tank top, and he was very distracted by my tank top. Yeah, so my hair. So one of the guys dyed his hair all blonde, and they were like, "Oh, you have to dye your hair back," and then he just like left the school. And then so
Good for him.
I went up to the principal and I was like, I want to highlight my hair. Can I highlight my hair? And he was like, well, you need to talk to our vice principal, who then previously had been the administrator for like forever. I went to ask her, and there was like concern, and then it was like there was talk about it, and there was, okay, let us think about it. And then they like called my mom that same afternoon or evening. They were like, we're so concerned. We don't want him to leave. We don't want him to be upset, blah, blah, whatever. Ultimately, we got to highlight our hair. So I pushed
literally why I'm against.
And now they can all color their hair. It's like crazy. Yeah. I'm like, that's not fair.
Yeah,
but
like,
here's the
so when I brought it up to my grandparents, I remember, so the debate came up because we all had to vote. The students got to vote on this too. And I went to my grandparents. My grandfather was just totally, I remember him, this is one of my earliest experiences of not realizing people couldn't necessarily understand me the way I thought they could. He was just like, well, everybody should just wear the same thing. And I said, yeah, I voted yes for uniforms. I don't care. I just want to be able to wear shorts because it's hot. And he goes, well, if everybody just wears uniforms, then nobody has to worry about it. I'm like, that's fine. I can just wear fucking shorts. And just, he kept saying, like, you're just caught up on the fashion aspect of it. I'm like, am I talking to a fucking wall? I'm talking to a fucking wall. And that's how I know I'm related to my mom's side of the family. Right there.
Yeah. Chris says guys dyeing their hair nails like Bree was talking about on the podcast. And then he also mentioned, unless you were gothing Florida, LL. You know what? When she talked about the goth thing and how she she went through a goth phase, and then that's when she could have like the long hair and the nails and like all of this stuff. I was like, oh my God, I never thought about that. But like, it's totally accepted if you're goth to have like nails and hair and like bangs.
So I remember in 6th or 7th grade, one of the protests against it was a bunch of the guys all painted their nails black. They had the girls paint their nails and wore them. And it was like these low key protests. And I'm like, I always think about like students and children are not as dumb. They're malleable, yes, but they're not all little yes people. Like, they're probably doing what they're told, but there's thoughts happening up there. And it makes me think of Mara Wilson, who played Matilda. She said, I think it's funny when people think I'm being too sassy or argumentative, they'll call me Matilda. You know, like Matilda, who led an uprising at her school, wouldn't have been political. You know? So I thought that was really, I always think about that when we talk about like younger students doing something like, you know, proving that the dress code is racist, because she got written up and he didn't for wearing the same clothes, and nobody even said anything to him.
No. So here's the clip of the TikTok that they did. He actually has a whole series of TikToks concerning, not uniforms, but dress codes.
I wish I was this smart and thought out when I was his age.
This is one of them.
Dressing the same to school to show how dress codes are sexist. Walking into school. In front of like 5 teachers. Still good. They wrote her up.
Yeah, so they like made her go and like change clothes or something.
Yeah,
and
I remember girls being told to go put on hoodies. I remember girls were not allowed to wear tank tops under t-shirts, like if it showed. And they were like if their bra strap showed, it was like a big drama. And it was like,
it's true.
Who cares?
So he was wearing the crop top, which was not allowed, and the shorts were way above his knees. There was like a something inch roll.
They have to be fingertip.
Anything.
Remember that. And it's like everybody's built so different that, I mean, don't get me wrong. I get like there is a limit for like. I get it.
Yeah,
Like there's probably a range of
basically,
like,
people
okay,
do
let's
not.
make sure like
They don't want me. They wouldn't have wanted me as a kid wearing the shorts that I wore to the beach. Fair, completely fair.
right, like I get it. Like there is a point of like, okay, but the ridiculousness over its fabric. It's fabric.
So,
Their shoulders.
we had the TikTok situation with the Texas abortion thing, all the young people on TikTok. Then we have the young people now like going against, dress codes. This is it's not just him. There's been others, but now they trolled a school board
Oh, that
meeting
was pretty funny.
by doing some fake names, and so this is kind of the situation that happened.
Phil McCracken. Phil McCracken.
No. I hadn't gotten to see the clip.
Soak. Sook. Mahidik. Luke Mahidik. Ophelia McHawk. Ophelia McHawk. Eileen Dover. Eileen Dover. Don Kiddick. Don Kiddick.
Oh my god.
And
Wayne Kerr.
they
Wayne Kerr.
just goes on and on and on. So yeah, that happened in Virginia when they got to the public comment portion.
I hadn't gotten to hear the whole clip yet. I got to see a little bit of it, but that was way funnier than I thought it was.
It was a 3-hour meeting almost, and obviously they were discussing mask mandates and that kind of thing. And I think at first no one even in the room seemed to catch on at all. And then he just kept reading the names and the names and the names and the names, and it's just like, oh my god! It's like it happens sometimes to some people like troll meteorologists in the morning shows. So a lot of times they'll announce like birthdays, and you send in your birthday and your name. And some people like send in fake names that end up being like "Feel My Crack In" or "Suck My Dick" or "Donkey Dick."
So right before we move on, a Pro Family Research Council, they're actually a verified account somehow on Twitter with like some 45,000 followers, posted, "The Bible is ardently and unequivocally pro-life. My personal thoughts on that, the entire world that allegedly drowned in a flood would like several words with you. Not to mention all the other genocide." Oh, and the murder of the Christ child. Oh, and like he threw Jezebel off the walls because basically she was a beautiful, powerful woman. Oh, and didn't like King David send Uriah to the front lines before marrying his wife and having a kid? Oh, and then they killed the kid. Oh, God killed the kid as a punishment. Oh, yeah. Pro-life as fuck, y'all. Okay. Anyway, moving on from bullshit Bible stories that aren't real.
Topher says, "I will do anything to protect Gen Z. They're such change agents." I agree. They're not afraid. And then you got the guy who is like I think our age around who created the code. I just love it, and I think TikTok and Reddit. They're the things that are helping change. And then Chris is talking about the fingertip roll with the dress code. OMG, the fingertip rule. When I was in middle school, I have long legs and long arms, and my parents thought I needed to wear Daisy Duke shorts. Yes! Yes!
Yeah, because when we were going to school, the 80s had happened just prior. So the people dressing us were still from that time. And Chris, I'm with you. Chris and I were built exactly the same at 19 and probably still pretty similar at 35. And shorts, I remember there used to be this picture. Chris, I bet you saw this picture. Chris went to an 80s party. I was not there, but he had posted the pictures, and it was amazing. The pictures were fantastic. And what's wild is seeing a lot of those fashions back, unironically. The one thing I'm overhearing is people saying, I think I was born in the wrong decade, like thinking that they wanted to be born in the 90s or something, or early 2000s, talking about the music. And I'm like, you weren't, because everything that's happening now crises like these happen then and before and before, and we'll swing one way and then we'll swing another.
I do love the crop tops. I love them. I love that they're coming back. I love that guys are wearing them, and it's not that big of an issue.
Well,
and going to
guys
that
wore
whole-
them. If you watch any movies from the 60s, 70s, and 80s,
Yeah,
guys
it
wore
was
tight jeans. They wore clothes that fit. It wasn't.
But
But
crop
what I
tops
don't get
were
is why don't people
originally
just
men
wear what they?
men type.
Why don't they just wear what they? I mean, if you feel whatever you feel comfortable in, what does it matter? You know, like
someone decided
somehow
it was the
people
issue.
get really
Pink
up in
used
their
to-
feelings.
Pink used to be a boy color back in the day, and then someone decided to change it for some reason. I don't know. Actually, this is off topic, but kind of on topic. California is going to send a law to the governor, who will most likely sign it, in which they will require big stores of like I think over like 1,000 employees or something, but like your Targets, your Walmarts, your that kind of stuff, not like small mom and pop places, but to have a gender neutral section for toys and a gender neutral section for like toothbrushes and that hygiene section. And that will be required if the governor signs it. It will be required in California. Obviously, Target's already done that. Their toys are all gender neutral now. So, but I think that's great that they're going to be doing that. And on the topic of the governor, real quick, if you do live in California, if you're listening to this and you're in California, you already got your ballots in the mail. The great thing about California, everyone gets a ballot in the mail if you're registered to vote. Be sure and fill out that ballot and send that ballot in ASAP, because we do not want a Republican running the state. And basically, if Governor Newsom gets recalled, there will be a Republican running the state who is just as bad as Ron DeSantis and Governor Abbott. And mask mandates and all that stuff will be repealed, and that will not be great. And we do not want that. So vote if you're in California. Some other good news, though. Someone is pregnant, Matt.
Oh.
He's having a baby.
And it sounds like an album release. He also posted, pregnant women, please post your bellies and cash apps.
Oh,
like,
I love that. So yeah,
and
Little Nas X album coming out September 17th. He had
one
this
of the-
idea.
One of the comments I saw was every time he does something and he makes other people get really mad, he like heads back to his drawing room to cook up something like more wild, and it really makes me laugh. He's kind of like America's little sibling, like the one that somehow comes up with something even more demented and to piss everybody else off, and it's hilarious. And
so
man, people just get so mad.
He didn't just show his belly, Matt. Have you seen the sonogram? There's a sonogram. I don't really know what's going on in there, but
what the f is that?
I don't know. I do not know what's happening there, but I'm sure.
Well, much like my poor partner last week who couldn't find my heartbeat, maybe we should call somebody. No, that really did happen. My partner, who also said she does not wear masks, by the way, in a nursing program.
Oh dear.
Said that she couldn't find my heartbeat. I was like, I'm over here like with my own stethoscope, like, well, no, I'm pretty sure it's here, Well, I'm excited. Are you gonna buy his album?
Well, I have Apple Music, so I don't buy any albums, but I will stream his album and listen to it. Give it a listen. It's interesting. I was talking to Justin about him, and I didn't think he was going to actually take off. Like his second song, Panini, was semi-popular, but didn't get mass appeal popular. I think that all this hate that he has gotten has really catapulted him to a different level that he probably wouldn't have gone to actually if he hadn't had all this hate. So the people hating on him actually have made him, I think, in my opinion, way more successful than he would have. So I'm sure he's just like, keep on keeping me in the news, because every time he does something they complain, it ends up on Fox News.
Well, he just much like how, like artists before him take that whatever negativity and turn it into work and just let their creativity flow. It's fantastic to see him be so successful. And I think, honestly, people are just, some of his peers that are mad. I'm like, y'all are just mad that he's 22, beautiful, athletic, creative, and doesn't care. Like, he's not spending more years of his life deconstructing bullshit in order to live freely. He's just living freely, and they're mad about it. A lot of people spend a lot of years going through school and educations from their families and their own lives, religion, whatever it is that put them there, and realizing that this is not who I am. This isn't what I want for my life. And he was able to shed that, and it's fantastic. It's
I think
really
you are right.
fantastic to
It is
see.
like he goes back to his drawing board each time.
And
It takes
man,
a lot of
and people
creativity
get
to keep up.
super angry, and I'm like, y'all.
Even if people weren't getting angry, there's just so much creativity going on there, which I think is amazing. That is very hard to keep up, and he's been able to continually keep up. So regardless of the hate, just being able to keep up that creativity is amazing. Something that I guess some people would say, oh, this is kind of creative that they've done. Guess what? Kraft mac and cheese ice cream.
So I've never had this, and I have no desire to, by the way. None.
So it's back by popular demand only for a short time. It was available last night when I looked. Now, Kraft teamed up last year, or earlier this summer, with Brooklyn-based Van Leeuwen Ice Cream to create a creamy and cheesy concoction for National Macaroni and Cheese Day. They sold 6,000 pints in just 1 hour. 1 hour, 6,000 pints. So now it's back. It is $12 a pint. You can get it online. And so, yeah, there's that. There's a lot of stuff. There was, I saw the other day, Twix has come out with a seasoning. So it's Twix seasoning. And the image that they showed it being used on is on hot wings, chicken wings. Interesting. And there is, I believe, a hot Cheetos ice cream as well. So there's a lot of interesting concoctions, and I'm not sure about them.
Well,
here's the deal. It's ice cream, and so I was like, oh, I can't have ice cream, but I was going to go ahead and get some. But I think you actually have to buy 4 or 5 pints to have it shipped.
Oh.
And I was like, well, if I ate ice cream, sure, I would have gotten other flavors that I like, and then this one. But unfortunately, I cannot try it. I would try it. I don't know how good it would be. We actually, when I was working TV, we had someone come on and do a cooking segment, and they did a whole meal, and then it was like a Italian type meal, and then for dessert, they was just doing something simple. Like, this was not necessarily, oh, we're making this, but they were like, just have some ice cream and pour some olive oil on the ice cream. And I heard that, I was like, oh my God, that is gross.
That sounds
olive
awful.
Oil on ice cream? It's good. It's good.
Is it really?
I like it. I like it.
Okay, so Cody, I thought of a segment we can try. So obviously I'm very you come up with these things and I'm like, why, Jesus, why? So I'm willing to we'll do 1 or 2 things that we'll do, we'll eat them. Maybe we'll have to record it on an off day. So, we can make sure we get it, the lighting and everything right. We'll try a couple things and we'll rate them and see, because I find myself going, what the it's way too much. And I'm like, maybe I need to keep an open mind. I don't want to try I don't want to try the Kraft mac and cheese ice cream because it looks like French vanilla, and I love French vanilla ice cream, and it's going to give me trust issues.
Yeah, it's going to be I feel like it could be good. I feel like it's just going to be like a creamy, cheesy ice cream. I feel like you're going to forget that it's ice cream. It's just going to be like this creamy, cheesy-ish flavored something that obviously is ice cream. And y'all, Matt is messaging me stuff. He can private message me things, and there's some stuff. There's some stuff. Let me tell you.
I terrorized Cody. I'm sorry. Topher. Yeah, right. This is kind of what I keep finding myself going, oh,
sick face.
But some of the more simple ones, as long as it doesn't involve ranch. So we kind of have to plan it, because I am lactose, but I do keep lactate pills. So I have to take them, and then we have about 45 minutes before I need to take some more, and then we can try it out.
We mentioned something when we were recording the other day, and we had talked about this, and there was something that was going to be happening or something coming out that we were going to try. But I can't remember what it was. I think it was the Taco Bell. Was it the Taco Bell chicken?
Yes, it was the Taco Bell thing.
actually have already tasted it.
Oh, you
So
slut.
So like if you are signed up on their app, like their reward program, you like got it earlier this week
Well,
before it
apparently
got
Cody's
released.
unfurling a new branch of ComaCast right in front of us called Coma Sluts because that's what Cody's doing.
And I just had one
Hell with
before I
that.
came on. It's so good. It's so good. I love it because it's kind of like spicy because the buttermilk is dipped like in jalapeno juice, and so it's just a tiny bit of spice on the chicken, and then
Is
the
everybody
pita
here
bread
lactose
and
intolerant?
cheese.
Because
It's
I
like,
keep
oh,
seeing
so
comments and
good.
I'm like, is everybody are we all lactose here? Like do we
Chris
all
is
have
like,
some kind of like
no.
some
One time that I
strain
get
of
something like St.
IBS?
Erie. Yeah. We've also mentioned on this show that
Ugh.
I
ComaCast fear factor. Nope, too much.
I
Nope.
get the
I will not be
Fairlife
getting
milk.
into a coffin of snakes or mites or whatever the horrifying creature. Yeah, no.
Oh my god! But for the Halloween show,
The Halloween show I think is really funny. I think we should do
he's gonna
costumes
eat
and
crickets.
we'll do I will not
I'm gonna send chocolate covered crickets to your house.
we should do drinks and snacks. We'll just sit here and get we did do, oh god, you remember we did the one live where I was kind of really drunk by the end of
People
it?
went crazy.
It was was it funny for you guys? Because I don't recall being
loved it.
particularly funny. I don't really think I'm funny. I think I'm just like myself with you. And if people are overhearing it, if they don't think it's funny, then they're probably calling an adult. But that particular night, I had probably 4 or 5 drinks because David just kept bringing them to me because he's a good husband. And
I know he
yeah.
just kept on. I like
Yeah.
this idea. It might not be gross Fear Factor stuff, but could be some interesting Fear Factor stuff.
Well, and I
For
also thought
Halloween,
we should
for
do like we wanted to do a cooking and baking challenge where we found something interesting to make, and then we make it together, and then we drunk episode of ComaCast, please. Yeah. Well, one of us has to be kind of sober to kind of like moderate, and Cody's the host. Technically, I can't host it, so Cody got to host that night when I had. Well, normally on the old lives, sometimes Cody would have a glass or two of wine, and on one of them, I just had like 4 or 5 really strong drinks, and I was like, "Oh, David, I don't taste the alcohol. It's fine. You can have another." And he's like, "You can't taste that." I'm like, "No, why?" He's like, "Jesus." He was a little worried for me.
More.
Yeah.
Chris agrees. Yes, Topher to the drunk. Maybe we'll have a special one.
We'll have to record it kind of maybe a little different because I have to be functional. I can't.
Yeah,
I have a really.
school.
I have a very rigorous homework schedule. My class days are only Tuesdays and Wednesdays. But
the thing is, time goes by fast because it's already the fall.
Yeah.
I believe like in a week or two.
I'm excited. I got this really cute
officially.
sweater a few months ago now, and I'm just like dying to wear it. And I'm hoping I trim down a little bit so it fits around my stomach a little better. It fits around my stomach. It just fits a little too well.
Okay, so y'all, we'll have a drunk episode on one of Matt's last days of the semester.
So my finals are December 11th. My clinical days are over. I have 3. So how clinicals have worked is they've decided instead of doing multiple 4-hour days, they're going to condense them into 3 12-hour days in order to get us through it because they're very concerned we're not going to be able to manage it because the Board of Nursing has a set amount of hours that we have to spend in a hospital or clinical setting. And we can't do it. Like things keep shutting down. Things keep becoming COVID wards, keep becoming COVID units. So we can't even get through. Let Bree moderate. Oh my gosh. I think she would have so much fun with us.
Y'all, I think she's gonna I think she'll be in next week. She was gonna try to come on this week since our episode released, but she had other engagements this week. So yeah,
well,
hopefully she'll tune in. Oh, she'll be able to. But yeah, I think we'll do a live to celebrate Matt's first semester ending. That'll be a lot of fun. And obviously we're gonna have our Halloween show, our Christmas show, our Thanksgiving show. We're
actually gonna just do completely separate ones where we just kind of talk about Halloween stuff and horror movies and other fun stuff.
Remember, if you have no sir, he's being a little devil.
Y'all, that's what we call body language warnings. Do you see those little ears? Like you went whoop.
we if you have any ideas, obviously, just let us know. Because we love taking your ideas and working with them and running through them. So I don't know if Matt will have one this week, but something that I'm loving this week is a little bit different. It's something local, so it's not anything anybody can do unless you live in San Diego. But one of the wineries that we go to in San Diego is moving to a different location. They're moving to the neighborhood officially. And so it's kind of going to be exciting because we'll be able to go to the winery a little bit more. We actually have not been to the winery. We're members of that winery since we went to go pick up wine yesterday because they sent a letter saying, hey, you need to come pick up your wine or we're going to ship it to you. And then you're going to have to pay for the shipping. So we're like, oh my God, we have to go pick it up. So we went to go pick it up and they were like, oh yeah, you haven't been here since December. You get 2 bottles a month. And so we had so much wine we had to pick up. But I'm really excited and happy that they're moving to a different area. The area they were in was great, but ended up not having any parking. And then the parking spot that they did have, parking area, they ended up building like a high rise and it took all their parking. So there was 0 parking. You had to like park around in the neighborhood and that becomes very difficult. So I'm excited that they're moving to an area with parking and there's a lot of people. Topher is correct. Negotiation is looking pretty run down these days. Yeah, it looks like it's just like a condemned building now because you can't even see the front of it. It's just like sad. But the new spot is so beautiful. Lots of glass windows. And I'm excited because I think a lot of other people
Cody,
are going to. Yes.
We have an update. As soon as I just said that out loud so I don't forget to tell you what just happened.
I think a lot of people will get introduced to it. So I'm really excited about it. But it's something that I'm loving this week that it's getting moved and hopefully we'll get to go more often. Of course, COVID is still happening, so I prefer doing things outside only. But yeah, so what is our update real quick?
So Texas Judge Maya Guerra Gamble has temporarily blocked enforcement of the abortion ban passed by the state legislature earlier this week. That was posted an hour ago. And something I'm loving this week is I'm getting used to my equipment and people and trying to make friends, which you guys probably don't. I don't know how well. I don't know if y'all believe me, like how like arm's length I really am with people, but making friends at least a little bit and trying to be comfortable with people is weird. And I don't like it very much.
I don't like people.
I like helping people that need help. So it's like in nursing, like I'm not going in their room to just have a conversation with them. I'm conversing with them, yes, but they need something. They need help, and I will have the skills to help them. So I help them, and then I go to the next person that needs help. But I've been really enjoying like all the equipment and everything, like learning how to do vital signs properly and how to use everything, what to listen for, what the sounds mean that, you know, when you listen and all the terminology. And it's been really exciting and kind of pulling together some things I already knew and learning all this stuff I don't know. So it's been really exciting. I'm hoping in the next week or two, as I get some kind of routine, that I'll be able to have time to write again and pick topics and everything. Because right now we put together as much as we could in my free time. We spent a lot of time on camera about 2 weeks before I started school, to the point where I was fried. I was so fried. And I was trying to get my stuff ready for school, and we were doing as much as possible. And I was just literally out. At one morning, we logged in, and I was like, Cody, what do you want to talk about? And it was like, I had an idea, but I just didn't even want to like talk anymore. I'm like, I am so tired of speaking into a microphone. And then like a couple of days went by and we went back to normal. And I was like, okay, I am ready again, because it can be, I mean, it just hours and hours and hours every day. And sitting in front of the window I use for the best lighting, it's Texas, it's hot. So while we're doing this, I get hotter and hotter and hotter in a room that doesn't have as much airflow, because I can't run the fan on high while I'm recording because the microphone picks it up. So something I've loved is, one, finding some sort of semblance of life, and two, holy shit, y'all, I'm going to nursing school. That's been pretty great. Like kind of it feels a lot more real now.
Yay.
Like,
that's exciting.
But that's all I've got.
Yay. We thank all of y'all for joining us. Of course, if you're here, if you're listening to this on audio, if you're listening to this on the replay on YouTube, be sure and check us out on our social channels. We have several that you can choose from. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok. The crazy thing is, it's pretty easy. They're all the ComaCast, except for Facebook, which is Coma Podcast. And so go check us out on all of those socials. We do post some things on TikTok now. We're going to start posting on Instagram, Twitter, all of that stuff. We actually had a react video on TikTok where we reacted to Candyman. And we'll have a bunch of those reactions to different movies coming out. And when new trailers come out, we'll be posting those up on TikTok. So lots of content all over the place, different places. So you need to subscribe to it all to see everything that we're doing, because we're not going to post it on everything. And again, just remind everybody, please go rate our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Just give us 5 stars and leave a comment. Even if it's, we love them, just something, we very much appreciate that. And again, if you're watching this YouTube video, hit like, because that's just really
We
important.
did have one
because
comment.
the algorithms work
I do
that way.
remember reading one comment that said, ew, 2 gays that sit and talk about themselves, because they happened, the one episode that person like logged into was just kind of, it was like a casual break from all like the trauma we had been like tweeting and posting about and recording about. So we just kind of had a lax day. We're just kind of catching up with each other. And this person did not like it. I was like, oh, damn. I was like, well, you win
Too
some,
bad
you
for
lose
them.
some.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you with a new episode on Wednesday, and then live here back again on Friday at 5 o'clock Pacific. All of you tuned in again. We loved it today. It was a great day, and we will see you then. Bye, everybody.
Bye.